Samsung Galaxy Z Flip5 camera test. Peace be upon you, my dear friends and followers of the channel. How are you today? I hope you are well and in good health. Today with you is a beautiful, new and important video for everyone. This video will be called the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip5 camera test. But before watching the video, subscribe to the channel and like and share so that it reaches the largest number of people. Now let's watch the video and I hope you like it. We put the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip5 through Xmark's rigorous battery of camera tests to measure its performance in photo and video quality and zoom from an end-user perspective. In this video I will demonstrate the device's performance in a variety of tests and several common use cases and aim to highlight the most important results of our testing through a snippet of the data captured. Overview. Main camera specifications. Primary camera, 12MP 1/1.76 sensor, 1.8A micro pixel, f/1.8 lens, DAF, OIS ultra-wide camera, 12MP sensor, 1.12A micro pixels, 123A degrees field of view, f/2.2 lens. Pros: good exposure and wide dynamic range, accurate white balance in daylight and indoors, good texture with ultra-wide camera, fast and stable autofocus for photos and video in most conditions, low noise levels in daylight video, effective video stabilization. Cons: frequent drops in white balance, especially in low light, noise in images in most conditions, especially near the edges, strong animated texture effects on faces in low light. The lack of a dedicated telephoto lens results in a lower level of detail in close-up shots. Some interfering image effects, including aliasing, ringing, fusion artifacts, and quantization in Xmark's camera tests. The Samsung Galaxy Z Flip5 showed some noticeable improvements over its predecessor, the Z Flip 4, making it one of the better options with the foldable form factor. When shooting still photos, testers particularly liked the accurate white balance in daylight and under indoor conditions, as well as the good exposure in most conditions. Combined with fast and stable autofocus, this makes the Z Flip5 a good choice for capturing everyday life around you. In addition, Samsung provided good details when shooting with the primary and ultra-wide cameras, as well as in video mode. When recording video, stabilization also worked effectively and image noise was well controlled. On the other hand, the lack of a dedicated telephoto lens meant that the telephoto zoom showed significantly lower levels of detail than most other premium devices. Additionally, image noise was quite visible in all lighting conditions, especially around the edges of the frame, which had a negative impact on still image quality. Test summary about Xmark camera tests. Xmark camera evaluations are conducted in laboratories and in real-world situations using a variety of subjects. The results are based on objective tests, in which results are calculated directly by measurement software on our laboratory setup, and on perceptual tests, in which a sophisticated set of metrics allows a group of image experts to compare aspects of image quality that require human judgment. The smartphone testing involves a team of engineers and technicians for about a week. Image, zoom and video quality are scored separately and then combined into an overall score for comparison between cameras in different devices. For more information about the Xmark camera protocol when shooting still photos, the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip5 delivered good exposure in most test conditions, including scenes with difficult backlighting and high contrast. However, our experts often noticed slight instability in exposure, especially in terms of tone mapping. Captured colors were vivid and the automatic white balance system worked accurately in daylight and under typical indoor conditions. However, our testers noticed some unnatural skin tone display. The level of detail captured was very decent and close to its predecessor Galaxy Z Flip 4, which was expected given the very similar camera hardware. On the downside, image noise appeared frequently in all lighting conditions. Fast and fairly stable autofocus helped keep the subject in focus and the zero shutter delay allowed the decisive moment to be captured instantly, even in low light. However, fusion effects were often noticeable on moving objects and strong aliasing was observed in all shooting conditions. Overall, our testers found the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip5 to be a great device for landscape photography as well as still life shots. For example, food photography. Exposure and color are the main features of technically good photos. For exposure, The main characteristic evaluated is the brightness of the main subject across different use cases such as landscape, portrait or still life. Other factors evaluated are contrast and dynamic range. For example, ability to provide visible detail in both bright and dark areas of the image. Repeatability is also important because it demonstrates the camera's ability to provide the same view when taking multiple photos of the same scene. For color, the image quality attributes analyzed are skin tone rendering, white balance, color shading, and repeatability. For color rendering and skin tone, we penalize unnatural colors but respect the manufacturer's choice of color signature. F-tests focus on focus accuracy, focus repeatability, shooting time delay, and depth of field. Shooting delay is the difference between the time the user presses the capture button and the time the photo is actually captured. This includes focusing speed and the device's ability to capture images at the right time, which is called no shutter lag capability. Even if a shallow depth of field can be pleasing for a portrait of a single subject or a close-up shot, it can also be problematic in some specific circumstances such as group photos. Both positions are tested. Focus accuracy is also evaluated in all real-life images captured, from infinity to close-up subjects and in low light to outdoor conditions. Texture tests analyze the level of detail and texture of subjects in images captured in the laboratory as well as in real-life scenarios. For landscape shots, special attention is paid to the level of detail in the bright and dark areas of the image. Objective measurements are performed on histogram images captured in different illumination conditions from 1 to 1000 lux and different types of dynamic range conditions. The charts used are the Special Excimark, DMC, chart and the dead leaves chart. Noise tests analyze different noise attributes such as density, color, granularity, and structure in real-world images as well as chart images captured in the laboratory. For natural images, special attention is paid to noise on faces and landscapes, but also in dark areas and high dynamic range conditions. Noise on moving objects in natural images is also evaluated. Objective measurements are made on chart images captured at different conditions from 1 to 1000 lux and different types of dynamic range conditions. The chart used is the dead leaves chart and the standardized measurements as visual noise derived from ISO 15739. Preview tests analyze the image quality of the camera app's preview of the image, paying special attention to the difference between capture and preview, especially regarding dynamic range and bokeh effect application. Exposure smoothness, color and focus adjustment were also evaluated when zoomed from the minimum to maximum available zoom factor. Preview frame rate is measured using the global LED timer. With a full frame equivalent focal length of 13.7 mm, the Flip5's ultra-wide camera delivers the widest field of view in this device category. When shooting in bright daylight, testers found the ultra-wide camera's colors to be too saturated, perhaps too saturated for some users. Details were generally sharp, with some ringing, and the Flip5's overall ultra-wide performance was among the best we've seen. In terms of telephoto quality, the Flip5 suffered from the lack of a dedicated telephoto camera module. When it comes to telephoto quality, the lack of a telephoto module makes it difficult for the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip5 to deliver good quality. At equivalent focal lengths longer than 60 mm, image quality was poor in all lighting conditions. At telephoto zoom levels, 40 mm to 60 mm, performance was on par with the Oppo Find N2 Flip, but low light noise reduction was more efficient on the Samsung. These tests analyze the ultra-wide camera's performance at several focal lengths from 12 mm to 20 mm. All image quality attributes are evaluated, with special attention paid to such artifacts as chromatic aberrations, lens smoothness, and distortion. The images below are an excerpt of the scenes tested. All image quality attributes are evaluated at focal lengths from approximately 40 mm to 300 mm, with particular attention paid to texture and detail. The result is obtained from a number of objective measurements in the laboratory and perceptual analysis of real-life images. This graph shows the evolution of DMC detail preservation with respect to full-frame equivalent focal length for different lighting conditions. The x-axis represents the equivalent focal length measured for each corresponding shooting distance and the y-axis represents the maximum degree of scale for detail preservation, A higher value means better quality. The larger dots correspond to the zoom ratio available in the camera app's UI. In video mode, the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip5 offered good overall image quality. Video stabilization was effective in still scenes and when moving during recording. Autofocus was fast and accurate in all conditions, allowing for sharp videos of sporting events or pets taking place. In daylight conditions, the camera was able to keep noise levels low and provided good exposure with a wide dynamic range. However, our testers noticed a drop in quality when recording in indoor conditions or in low light. In such conditions, we often saw underexposed shots as well as strong moving texture effects on faces. We also noticed a very strong white balance under daylight and indoor lighting. Exposure tests evaluate the brightness of the main subject and dynamic range. That is the ability to display visible detail in both bright and dark areas of the image. Exposure stability and temporal adaptation are also analyzed. Color image quality analysis addresses color rendition, skin tone rendition, white balance, color shading, white balance stability and its adaptation to changing light. Texture tests analyze the level of detail and texture of real-life videos as well as videos of textures recorded in the lab. Natural video recordings are evaluated visually, with special attention paid to the level of detail in bright areas as well as in the dark. Objective measurements are made of chart images taken at various conditions from 1 to 1000 lux. The charts used are Xmark, DMC, chart and dead leaves chart. Noise tests analyze different noise attributes such as intensity, color, granularity, structure and temporal aspects in real-life video recordings as well as videos of histograms captured in the laboratory. Natural videos are evaluated visually, with special attention paid to noise in dark areas and high dynamic range conditions. Objective measurements are made on video charts recorded at various conditions from 1 to 1000 lux. The chart used is the Xmark Visual Noise Chart. The stabilization rating tests the device's ability to stabilize shots thanks to software or hardware technologies such as OIS, eyes, or other means. The evaluation looks at residual motion, smoothness, gel artifacts, and residual motion blur in walking and running use cases in different lighting conditions. The video below is an excerpt of one of the scenes tested. Artifacts are evaluated using MTF and ring measurements on an SFR chart in the lab as well as frame rate measurements using the global LED timer. Natural videos are evaluated visually by paying particular attention to unwanted artifacts such as aliasing, quantization, occlusion, and color shift, among others. The more severe and frequent the unwanted events, the more points are deducted from the score. Below is a list of the main undesirables and their corresponding points loss. At the end of the video, I thank you for watching and I hope you liked it, and see you in a new video.